Welcome to another episode of the CPGGUYS podcast. Our hosts, Sri Rajgopalan, Peter V.S. Bond, and Brian Gildenberg explore how brands and retailers engage consumers in an increasingly digitally driven world. And now, here are the CPGGUYS.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the CPGGUYS podcast, where we explore the omni-channel digital journey of brands and retailers. I'm, of course, one of your co-hosts, Sri. Please listen to my daughter's music at www.rearaj.com. That's RHEARAJ.com. Follow the exciting adventures of my younger daughter, Dream Academy by Universal Music on YouTube or Instagram. Joining me today is my co-host and friend, aka the Data and Loyalty Guru, also the Partnership Acceleration Lead at Flywheel Digital, in person. At the time of this recording, Mr. Peter Bond, what brings you to La La Land?
Here I am at the Raj Mahal. It's so great to be with you in person, Sri. This is good stuff. You know what I'm here for? Well, I'm obviously here to see you, but we're here. It's the first weekend of October, and we're going to go to the first game of the National League Division Series featuring the Arizona Diamondbacks playing in Chavez Ravine against my very own beloved LA Dodgers.
And since I have no real love or hate for the National League, I will participate in championing the Dodgers.
You're going to go get the hot dogs during the breaks. Okay, good. That's good. Well, I'm looking forward to this, and we got a great episode coming up. Sure, I'm very excited about our conversation.
Yeah, this is one I've been waiting for quite a bit, but thanks for making it out here to LA. I know the trek of 6.5 hours from Connecticut is not a fun one.
My God. It took me almost as long to get from the airport to your house as it did to get from Connecticut to LA.
I don't feel the pinch of traffic here since I'm coming from Manhattan.
You're just accustomed to it.
So it's just normal. But before we get to our guests, let me remind everyone to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. And if you Apple or Spotify, please give us a rating, because the reading feeds the algorithm, makes our podcast more findable, just like search on retail media. How about that?
Search, I like that. That's apropos for our conversation today.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And of course, when you give us a rating and a review, we also get to know whether we're bringing the right guests on the podcast, we're having the right topic. So it means a lot. Please do that.
It improves our SEO.
There we go. Now he's getting into the weeds. We want to express how honored we are to be rated the number one CPG podcast for 2 years in a row, according to FeedSpot, the leading podcast ranking authority in the U.S. And we are very pleased to have joined us in our top 30, our sister cast, CPG Scoop, CPGGUYS Fast Forward, and the FMCG Guys.
Hey, Sri, did you know we're now in the top 50 marketing podcasts according to Chartable? Number 38. Wow, that's incredible.
We're also happy to be the formal sponsors of Next Up, whose mission is to advance all women in business. She had appeared on stage at the Next Up Executive Forum in Austin, Texas, as well as the Next Up Summit that happened in Chicago earlier this month. Links to our podcast, our sister cast, our landing page on Next Up may be found in the digital liner notes of this episode.
And links to Ria's website and to Laura's adventure on Dream Academy. Those are all there.
And at the time of this recording, the voting process is still taking place for the next Global Girls Band through Universal and Geffen Records. And by going to the digital liner notes, you'll have the link to click on. So
I'm excited. I can't wait to see how Laura's doing.
Do vote for Laura.
Vote for Laura.
So our guest today is a second-time guest on the show. To find his first episode, all you have to do is go to www.cpgguys.com and in episodes, search for none other than the man himself, Mr. Ryan Mayward. That easy. That's RyanMayward.
You know, we might put a link to his first episode in the digital liner notes of this episode to make it even easier.
How about on LinkedIn?
Let's do that. Okay, we'll do that.
Done. Yes, we have for a repeat visit none other than Ryan Mayward, who is Walmart Connect's Senior Vice President of Retail Media Sales. He's responsible for leading the sales organization for Walmart Connect. And his team partners with large and small suppliers, marketplace sellers, agencies, API partners, all. Ryan joined Walmart Connect in 2022. He's also been at Instacart, and he's also been, prior to that, at Amazon, where he spent a decade plus. And global agency development, programmatic, ad tech, OTT sales programs, all the words we want to hear on the show.
OTT, that's another acronym. That's over the top for those who we love to break down acronyms.
Oh, I thought we were going to ask our guest that.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Before Amazon, Ryan built the national programmatic sales at NBC Universal.
Oh, wow. These are all blue chip experiences. This is someone we want to talk to again.
I think so.
Ryan,
welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I have had a great week. It's been a long week, but energizing. I spent a few days in Bentonville earlier in the week. We had an awesome partner summit with one of our biggest suppliers / advertisers. And I loved that. That was really fun. But I'm back home now, back to rainy Brooklyn. And I should be in a quiet spot here at home. You never know. I've got 2 teenage daughters and a furry little dog, so I can't guarantee no interruptions. And, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. The only thing between me and happy hour is YouTube.
Well, we better make it good. Sri and I are batching it this weekend, except for the fact there are 3 female cats in the house. So
we've got 3 furry.
We're living the dream life out here in Los Angeles.
Good for you.
Thanks for joining us today, Ryan. I believe you'll share new and exciting happenings for Connect today, things that have advanced since we did this last 6+ months ago with others from the Walmart Connect team. But before we get to the questions we've prepared for our conversation, can you share for audience just a brief overview of what Walmart Connect is and your role there?
Of course. And I think you did a nice job covering it. But Walmart Connect is the retail media business of Walmart Inc. And Walmart is America's largest omni-channel retailer. And as you mentioned, I lead the revenue organization, essentially ad sales. We work with a bunch of different advertiser segments. So everything from some of the largest brands in the world, all the way to tens of thousands of small businesses that are selling their products on our marketplace. We work closely with agencies of all varieties, importantly, including the holding companies. And we have a big business with API partners where our team is working with them to accelerate their growth. And then lastly, I have a team that manages our more mature media and technology partnerships with companies like the Trade Desk and Pinterest and Paramount Plus and others. So lots to keep me busy, and I'm delighted to be here.
That's awesome to hear. We'll, of course, include links to your LinkedIn profile, Walmart Connect's LinkedIn page, and the corporate site in the digital liner notes of this podcast episode, so that the 90+% of people listening to this episode who do so on their mobile device can easily learn more as they listen. So it's Q&A time, and Ryan, I'll tee it up with the first one. Last time we had you on the podcast, you were, of course, VP of Ad Sales at Instacart, where you focused on building deep relationships with CPG brands and ad agencies. Prior to that, you had also helped build out Amazon's ad business, if I remember correctly, from the ground up. Now you're about to celebrate completing your first year. Congratulations, anniversary moment at Walmart Connect.
Happy birthday to you.
Did you not hear me saying it?
Yeah, but I know what it was, but I wanted to sing.
You're giving him a 1-year birthday.
I know. Okay.
Did you forget rapping is for me? I'm in La La Land. You're in Connecticut, man.
I know.
What are some of those transition highlights, Ryan, you would like to share going from Instacart, Amazon first to Instacart? You were at NBC Universal prior to that, over to Walmart Connect.
Yeah, it's a great question. As I approach my 1-year anniversary on October 31st, this coming Halloween, I've been reflecting a lot on what I'm excited about and what I've learned and how things have transitioned for me into this role. I mentioned before that Walmart's America's largest omni-channel retailer, and it's the omni part of that I'm really excited about. And that's the new part for me. We're talking about transitions. I'm really excited to be working for a retailer that has the assets that it does in terms of both physical retail and e-commerce. During COVID, we, of course, when we were all staying home all the time, doubled down on e-commerce. We all learned to love online grocery. And there was sort of among some folks, a reductionist view that e-commerce was going to eat, physical retail. And now that we have, I think, COVID-driven shopping behaviors mostly behind us, we realize that customers are, flooding back into stores. I mean, not every physical retailer has benefited equally from that. Just look at mall vacancies, and there's a variety of retailers in various stages of decline. But certainly customers are flooding back into grocery stores and convenience stores, and definitely Walmart. And so now we're seeing the customer journey unfolding between the app and the store. And brands are saying, yeah, my e-commerce GMV is at a baseline that's higher than it was in 2019. But, the in-store experience still remains vital to my business, and driving growth there is critical. And, in the earlier days of e-commerce advertising or retail media, we talked a lot about the customer journey, and we talked about the customer journey unfolding entirely on the e-commerce site, right? Like customers becoming aware of a product for the first time, researching it, considering the product, adding it to their cart, purchasing it, maybe becoming loyal through some sort of repeat purchase mechanism. And that customer journey still stands today. But at a retailer like Walmart, the customer journey is more, I guess, multifaceted. Like I said, it's happening in between the app, which is the most convenient, nearest Walmart store to you, and the physical store that's also close to you. And we're seeing customers come in and build a basket to ship products to their home, or build a big grocery basket and maybe throw some apparel or home goods in there and schedule that to be delivered in under a couple of hours, or go pick it up. Maybe they're sitting at home using the app to make a list or research a few items that they plan to go into the store and buy. Or maybe they're actually in the store using the app as a companion to their shopping experience. I think the exciting thing before us is being able to identify the customer's intent on all of those distinct shopping journeys, and then helping brands figure out what's the right message to put in front of a customer given their shopping mission, and what's the best way to measure the efficacy of whatever advertising vehicle we use to deliver that message. So I'm very excited to be at Walmart, and very excited about the momentum the company has, and figuring out omni-channel retail media. I mean, that's the next chapter in retail media.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Ryan. That's terrific. So as Sri mentioned in the opening, the last time we had someone on from Walmart Connect was a little over 6 months ago. And I know from following your LinkedIn page, there's a whole lot that's happened. So could you highlight for us really what's been going on with Walmart Connect over the last half year, and what's really exciting you want to make sure our audience is aware of?
Of course. Well, my observation is that in the last 6 to 10 months, the clarity of our vision has improved dramatically. Where we've been, where we're headed, why, who benefits, has really come into focus. And when I started at the end of October, I was coming in towards the end of a fiscal year where Walmart Connect had unlocked a lot of value for advertisers through its paid search platform. So they had switched to a second price auction, and obviously return on ad spend improved quite a bit from that. They launched new ad placements in search, modified the relevance algorithms to help brands with less search history when placement near the top of the page, and did other things. And I think advertisers were really excited by the search roadmap that year, and tangibly saw the results from that. And what I learned when I joined was that, it's a search platform that's barely 3 years old. We've been selling ads on Walmart in some way, shape, or form for a long time, but, Walmart Connect's about a 3-year-old business. And at the beginning of that 3-year journey, that was the start of building the tech stack from the ground up, designing and building our ad products in-house. And the main focus has been on the paid search platform, as it should have been. And I think that a lot of finishing touches were put on that product last year. And I think advertisers were delighted by what they had by the end of the year. And I think from here on out, you can expect to see ever greater refinement from our search platform, more granular metrics, more automation, more usability, maintaining parity between the UI and the API. And I think that it's in a great place, and it's allowed us to shift focus this year to having a similarly transformational year for our display business. Historically, we've been running the display business kind of like a premium publisher, a lot of sponsorships, guaranteed delivery, managed service. And we've seen the advertiser response to search, and the fact that it's a contemporary search platform that's self-service and API driven. And we're applying that same approach to our display business. We've launched an auction environment for our on-site display, self-service tooling, API coming shortly, and really making our on-site display the performance-driven product that it should be, that serves largely as a complement to paid search, driven by behavioral and contextual targeting. And making it self-service and API-based is going to enable us to bring on thousands more participants in display. And that's what the growing base of sellers on our platform want. So I think, the clarity is around what is our core ad platform? Our core ad platform is search and performance display, self-service, API driven, built by us, underpinned by best in class targeting capabilities and measurement. And now that we've spent most of this year working on the display piece, the display transformation, advertisers will see the benefit of that from, later this year into early next year as we move them over to their, auction-based campaigns and our self-service tooling and what have you. And I think that's the clarity is around the core ad platform, and getting that in great shape has enabled us to pursue, I think, two high growth and exciting opportunities. One being in-store advertising, and that's sort of what enables omni-channel advertising to be the next chapter in retail media. So I was excited to host a store tour during Walmart's shareholder week back in, I think it was May. And it was exciting for Walmart to put Walmart Connect front and center during that important week. And I was delighted to take a bunch of reporters around one of our stores and show them the customer touch points that we're enabling with ads throughout the store. Things that have been around a while, like TV wall, we've been reinventing that. New screens throughout the store. Think of testing on, deli screen, bakery screen, self-checkout screens, and Walmart radio, which, we've had a radio service for years and have been inserting audio ads into that service. And then we've taken demos in-house recently. And what we've ended up with is a set of touch points throughout the store that brands can use to continue communicating with customers throughout each stage of their shopping journey. And, what's next for us on that front is figuring out the best way to measure that, the best way to measure awareness, consideration, and purchase from all those in-store touch points. And also answer hard questions like how to ad exposures between the app and the store collectively contribute to sales outcomes. So that area, we're sort of branching in that direction from our core ad platform. The other area is offsite. We launched the Walmart DSP about a year and a half ago, I guess, 2 years ago. Fastest growing ad product at Walmart Connect. Advertisers are seeing a lot of value running display and video campaigns through that platform. Within the Walmart DSP, the fastest growing ad format's been CTV. We are excited about the partnerships that we've struck with Paramount Plus and NBC Universal and Roku and others. And advertisers are excited to use, Walmart shopping behaviors as the targeting criteria across CTV, and then measure sales outcomes. When advertisers buy TV, they're a supplier to Walmart and have substantial sales on Walmart like they do, their TV spend tends to benefit Walmart more than any other retailer. And we see a big opportunity to help advertisers understand sales attribution for that TV investment. And so we're really excited about that part of our offsite business. And then we've continued to experiment and learn in social environments. We've been working with Pinterest for a while. That's been a great partnership. We've been, as we've spoken publicly, we've been testing with Meta and TikTok and others. And I think that advertisers are excited to figure out social commerce and the role that Walmart plays there, and excited to use our data as targeting criteria there, as well as, closed loop measurement. So I think the clarity of the vision is really expressed in that summary. Like, what is the core ad platform? And then what are the two big areas outside of that where we're investing? And these are, forever investments. This is our long-term vision. And when we describe it to brands this way, I think they get pretty excited about what the future holds for our relationships.
Speaking of those very brands that are partners for Walmart, how does Walmart Connect actually advise those partner brands to run successful campaigns? And then what metrics are the ones that your partners anchors on to be able to determine if the campaign was successful or not?
Yeah, great question. I think as you build a business that serves many advertiser segments, SMBs all the way up to the largest brands in the world, and then also has the expansive capabilities that I just described, you have to go to, a playbook-based approach to guiding advertisers through your capabilities so that they can quickly and easily turn your capabilities into solutions to their business problems. And that's what we've spent a lot of time doing this year, is building that playbook and building it for each of our demand segments. The sort of generic version is as follows. Of course, customers browse our virtual shelves through search. And so paid search is the foundation of the playbook. Not too surprising. And for, the many thousands of third-party sellers that are relatively new to our marketplace who have smaller budgets, that may be it for them, or at least for the foreseeable future. But, most of our revenues coming from advertisers are a bit more mature on the platform. And so, the next thing that we recommend that they invest in is on-site display and using behavioral and contextual targeting tactics. We're excited about the fact that this is all going to be in the same self-serve console as search moving forward, and advertisers can think about performance display that way as complements to their search tactics. If advertisers have, needs that those two products don't meet foundationally, then we recommend that they move on to video on site. Earlier this year, we launched a video product that's delivered in our search grid. And it's an awesome basket builder for CPG brands, for beauty brands, helping build regimen for food brands, helping to promote complementary products to build meals. It's being leveraged by our general merchandise and apparel advertisers. They'll have a big year, or rather a big period here coming up around the holidays. We expect to see toy brands and electronics and others leveraging that unit. So lots of demand for that. It's sort of tactic number 3. And then from there, depending on your needs, the budget you have available, we'll recommend any combination of sponsorships or integrated marketing plans with Walmart Connect offsite. So leveraging our DSP and our social integrations to reach Walmart customers when they're not on Walmart shopping and send them back to Walmart, or leverage the in-store capabilities that I just mentioned. And of course, the driving factor behind which of these 3 things or the combination of them that they leverage depends on what they're aiming to accomplish. But that's the sort of general version of the playbook. And then depending on whether you're, a new seller or you're a huge food or consumables brand, we'll operate from that base playbook to create a bespoke solution for you. That's essentially how it goes down. You also asked about metrics. I mean, I'm hoping we'll talk about measurement a fair amount, but it's our entire metric suite, which paints the picture of, how much awareness you drove, how much consideration, how many units did you sell, what was the efficiency of that, how much of that sales happened online or in store, and complementary metrics too, like, are these customers new to your brand or new to your product? So lots of metrics to choose from based on whatever your campaign goal might be.
All right. So Ryan, there are a couple of things you touched on so far. One is obviously around the powerful targeting capabilities that Walmart Connect offers, and that's predicated upon the rich customer insights you have on your guests. One of the complementary solutions that Walmart offers from a customer insights perspective is obviously Walmart Luminate. So my question is, how does access to Walmart Luminate enhance suppliers' abilities to understand what's going on at Walmart Connect through their advertising activities?
Yeah, that's an important question. It's a relatively new product available from Walmart. Luminate is built by a team here called Data Ventures, who is part of the revenue organization led by Seth Dallaire, our CRO. And Luminate essentially consists of 3 parts. There's a module called Customer Perceptions, where brands can actually survey real Walmart customers to understand sentiment about their products. And a second module is channel performance. So, how do sales break down between in-store or online? What does your category share look like? Things like that. And the last is shopper behavior. Think about that as basket analysis. And we've seen significant adoption in the last year and a half. A common refrain that I hear from brands is we've derived so much value from it, but we're just scratching the surface. They're building entire practices around extracting insights for their business, all facets of their business too, supply chain, R&D, marketing. But I think there's a real sense that we're just getting started, and brands are marshaling the resources to derive as much value from Luminate as possible. And the thing that I don't think that, they tell you in the sales pitch for Luminate is it drives a ton of ROI for Walmart Connect. And, a lot of that is driven by our sales team logging into their clients' accounts, which of course, they have permission to do, and looking around to diagnose sales opportunities for brands, individual brands, and using those sales opportunities as the basis for more media recommendations. So for example, logging in and figuring out, you have a brand has a customer attrition problem, and building media tactics around reactivating lapsed customers to meet share goals. That's like a common use case. And there's many others. I think where we've seen a lot of adoption from suppliers is across food and consumables. And, I have two sales organizations built around those two business units, and those sales teams are big customers of Luminate, if you will. It's unlocked a lot of value. We're excited about it, and we're excited for more and more of our suppliers/advertiser partners to get their hands on it.
Let me remind our audience that we are speaking today with Ryan Mayward, SVP of Retail Media Sales at Walmart Connect. Ryan, so you mentioned a little bit about measurement, so I'd love to get into anything new in the measurement technique space, reporting, et cetera, on campaigns by Walmart Connect that you'd like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really focused from a measurement standpoint on three things: granularity, flexibility, and agility. Those last two are kind of two sides of the same coin. Granularity, we're delivering metrics that provide more specific insight into business outcomes that our ad products are driving. So for example, we've had new to brand for display for a while. Earlier this year, we launched new to brand and new to product for paid search. So, shedding more light on the specific business outcomes that search is delivering for our partners. On the flexibility front, we know that brands want to consume performance data from us however they see fit, based on where they're at in terms of investing in their own technology or partnering with other companies. And so we can deliver measurement to our clients, of course, through a managed service motion, but we're making more and more of our metrics available through self-service reporting tools and APIs. And we've started on the API front, started with search, offering, a reporting API for search. And then later in the year or early next, a similar read API for on-site display. And brands are very excited about that, as are their agencies and API partners, obviously. On the agility front, I think advertisers have become accustomed to consuming a lot of measurement and insights from us through, like packaged reporting. Like we'll do the big end of campaign report, and we'll, hand deliver that to the client and walk them through that. And that's important. When you spend a lot of money on a campaign, or you spend a lot of money with a media partner, you expect a high level of service, and we're committed to that. But we also don't want that to be like the main mode of delivering measurement and insights. Like really, we want our clients looking at their performance every day and optimizing every day. And they've been able to do that for paid search, but the display piece is just now coming around to that sort of self-service availability model. So we're finding that advertisers are feeling like they're becoming more nimble because they're getting access to insights, data on a daily basis, and then figuring out how to modify tactics based on that. And we have to do that because, the marketplace is growing quickly. Those sellers are leveraging advertising to grow their businesses. And, we're not going to deliver a QBR to every third-party seller for years to come, right? Like they've got to figure it out on their own. And so that's what we're delivering. And I think that the response from advertisers of all sizes have been great. So those are really our values from a measurement standpoint. And that's where we've been focused for the last, 12 months.
Ryan, you're obviously trying to build a platform that is responsive to what your customers, essentially in this case for Walmart Connect, it's your advertisers, are looking for. What else are they telling you that they're looking for as you start to look to further develop your in-house tech stack in terms of capabilities?
Yeah, we get a lot of questions that maybe sound a little different, but if I guess I was to drop them all in a pot and boil them down, they would all come back to some question about targeting or measurement. Who should I address? And once I've addressed them, what happened? Did it work? And, on the measurement front, the questions are, I think they're really compelling and kind of paint a picture of where we're headed. And also, indicate the breadth of the opportunities they have to sell to customers and reach them and then figure out the outcome. So did this drive sales online or in store? What are the right KPIs for offsite media? How should I think about targeting Walmart customer and the ROI that I'll see from connected TV or from a social platform? How can I use, your reporting data to better inform my media mix models? What's the right way to measure in-store impact? And what if I'm advertising online and in-store simultaneously? How do all these touch points come together to create an outcome that's greater than the sum of the individual parts? These are the things that we're getting asked every day. And I think that we're doing a good job of answering these things, but there's a lot of hard questions in here that we're excited to answer in the coming years. A lot of the ad formats that are giving rise to these questions are new, all the in-store stuff, for example. So, we're sort of characterizing next year as the year of measurement. Like last year was the year of search at Walmart Connect. This year, our display transformations kind of made this year the year of display, and next year the year of measurement. Because, when you bring search and display, when you bring your core ad products onto a common tech stack, you can improve your measurement capabilities, you can develop new ones. And I think when you look at the online capabilities and in-store together, that's where the opportunity to differentiate from other retail media networks really lies for us as a media company.
Thank you for that, Ryan. I know at the time of this recording, we did this in October, which typically becomes a busy time for you and your team. You're in the midst of, working with suppliers to plan ahead for the next calendar year as people plan out their budgets. So what are you hearing from marketers as a pain point or the highest need in terms of advertising? What do they want to do? And then what's top of mind for you going into 2024 for Walmart Connect?
It's definitely a busy time of year. It's JBP season. And of course, what advertisers always want to know when you walk in and say, let's talk about our partnership for next year. Let's talk about budget allocations and sales growth and your goals. One of the top things they want to know is, well, what's your roadmap? And I have to give a lot of credit to our product and PMM team for delivering what I think is a really compelling roadmap for next year in early September to complement our partnership discussions. And, the roadmap is delivered at a moment when I think our advertisers are seeing a lot of momentum from Walmart. And, they're seeing strong GMV growth, seeing strong e-commerce performance, and saying like, all right, we've got great momentum. How do we build from here? What's next? And I think the product roadmap is helping us answer that. A lot of the measurement components that we've been talking about have gotten a lot of the right sort of head nodding and positive comments. And we're excited about expanding more into social and CTV. That's been getting a lot of attention, and then scaling and measuring the in-store pieces. So I think that how we're going to do all that is the sort of top of mind question. And as well, what does momentum look like next year? What does growth look like next year from a GMV standpoint? And we're excited about what next year holds for us as a retailer and as a media company. I mean, the grocery business is hot and will remain so. Our heritage is in general merchandise and then apparel, and we don't talk much about that part of the business. It's easy to always use examples from CPG brands when talking about, how Walmart works and what we're capable of and what we're good at. But we do a big business with advertisers in toys and electronics. And, apparel. They're excited about what we have in store for them next year from both a retail standpoint and an advertising capability standpoint. And I think another hot topic, something that's top of mind for brands, is the growth of our marketplace. What does that mean for them? At Walmart, we're excited to welcome brands into the marketplace to sell their items that way, experiment with assortment and test new products, bring international varieties to the market. So how marketplace works and what's available to brands, what's available to resellers, and what's the roadmap for that? And how does the advertising business complement that or sort of spin the marketplace flywheel? That's top of mind. So I think there's lots to be excited about, but like those areas are the main themes when we're out talking about, the next fiscal year.
Ryan, thanks so much for covering there. What we would have asked you is the CPG guys fast forward question about what's next for Walmart Connect. So let me remind our audience, you can find all of our content by going to a web browser on the cpgguys.com URL. And of course, you think you or your company has thought leadership to contribute to a community discussion, drop us an email at contact@cpgguys.com. Again, that email is contact@cpgguys.com, and maybe you can join us on the podcast just like Ryan did today. Don't forget to drop us a rating at cpgguys.com on the navigation bar up top on the right-hand side. And sincere thank you from the bottom of our hearts to our 25K plus followers on LinkedIn. We know on LinkedIn that number is huge, so we want to say thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you for making time on a Friday afternoon. We know we are minutes away from getting you to that happy hour, so thank you for making time and being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored to be a guest for a second time, so thank you very much.
Well, when does he get the Letterman jacket?
It's 5.
5 appearances.
But you know what? Kara's trying to claim that she gets the first Letterman jacket cumulatively for all of the Walmart Connect appearances. I don't know.
You certainly hit 5 then.
I think that's suspect. But
Kara's
like number
Ryan,
7 on the list now,
7,
she's climbing towards the top, and here comes Ryan to try and maybe catch up to her real quick. We'll see.
Yeah, like you said, the known fact, Ryan's previous episode is the second highest ever
second most downloaded
CPG.
Second only to
Set Tiller.
I know. We gotta bump you up there a little bit.
The gap is only 10%. So Ryan, I think this is
a little competitive spirit going on.
This is the episode. This is the one. So
10% gap. I didn't know that. I've wanted to dive into the analytics and understand where I stood. But that's good to know. I can close a 10-point gap, I think.
Quick little newsletter to your advertising base. Boom. It's right there.
There we go.
Get me the link.
You got the link. It's coming your way.
There we go.
All right. Shri.
It's that time of the episode, Peter. But first, I'll say thank you for joining me on this episode.
Of course. Always love doing this.
What do we learn today from Ryan, if you want to summarize it for our audience?
Yeah, a couple things. One, for Ryan, who spent a good chunk of his career at Amazon and then more recently at Instacart, what's different about Walmart is the omni aspect of omni-channel and all of the associate assets that come with that. And you talked at length about in-store and off-site and all these other things. But all that at the end of the day just makes the advertising platform that more powerful. And this is particularly important because as customers come flooding back into stores, Walmart's been in a really unique position. Shreve talked about this on a couple of last episodes, and Ryan kind of alluded to it in the past. Although Walmart has a history and a heritage in general merchandise, I would probably describe them more now today as a grocer who sells mass merchandise. And as such, like the economic conditions over the last couple of years have actually, I think, to a great degree benefited Walmart and driven a lot of people back into the store, which just makes the advertising platform that much more important. And it's important because is a really great thing that caught my attention, Ryan said, is the Walmart app is the most convenient, closest store to you. And I love that. You think about that as a store, and it really is about this omni-channel customer journey. And Ryan did talk about that, the need to understand how the journey unfolds in a multifaceted way. Consumers come in to the process, sometimes in the physical store, sometimes through the app. Maybe they get it delivered at home. Maybe they pick it up in store. Maybe they're shopping in store. Maybe they come to pick up and then they park their car and they go in and they do a top off when they're in the physical store. I mean, there's just so many things. So making sure you are reaching the customer, understanding that journey and reaching them with relevant messages is critically important. I loved how he said the clarity of Walmart Connect's vision has improved. It's really clarity around both search and performance display, that their display business is now a very performance-driven product, and that is incredibly important. for the advertisers that their growth areas for taking the platform forward are heavily focused on in-store advertising. We talked about screens, demos, radio, all of these mechanisms. And of course, the incredible power of off-site capabilities. Connected television is very, very big. They've made quite a number of announcements in that arena. And social commerce, it's where people are spending their time, and you want to make sure that you are where your guests are spending their time. From an investment standpoint against Walmart Connect, the message was pretty clear. Advertisers have to think about the playbook. First and foremost, at a foundational level, is paid search. Moving on up, on-site display that's heavily influenced by the powerful targeting capabilities with all the rich customer data. Then doing video on-site, and then starting to look at sponsorships off-site by the DSP and even in-store advertising. Metrics are a critically important focus of the attention. In particular, when we talked about the complementary asset of Walmart Luminate, the ability to survey Walmart shoppers and get attitudinal information, to understand channel performance online, offline, and also the customer insights. It really helps identify sales opportunities that advertisers can leverage Walmart Connect to grow their business. There's a really great measurement focus. It's a three-part. It's about granularity. So really being able to get down and get granular about, is this consumer truly new to brand? The flexibility, right? Allowing the advertisers to consume performance data the way that they want to. So sometimes they want to use Walmart's performance measurement techniques. Sometimes they want to import the data and execute through their own platforms. And lastly, agility, right? They want to be able to analyze performance every day, and having a self-service capability to do that makes Walmart Connect's data so much more powerful. And where advertisers are looking to have Walmart Connect improve its capabilities and invest against growth in their in-house tech stack is really around targeting and measurement. I don't think that's surprising to us at all. That's absolutely what they want to hear. The last thing I just wanted to say is, and Ryan kind of touched on this, if grocery is an area where there's still incredible growth opportunities, one of the mechanisms that's going to allow advertisers to grow their business is through the marketplace. It's the one place where they can make sure their entire assortment is completely available. So if it's not necessarily available 1P through Walmart, they can make their entire assortment. And that's critically important. If you're a brand and you want to make sure that Walmart shoppers have availability to your full assortment, then the marketplace is the way to do it. And the way to grow the marketplace is going to be Walmart Connect. So it all kind of loops back in: measurement, performance, to growth, all of that. So that's what I heard from it, Sri.
How'd you do, Ryan?
That was amazing. Nicely done.
I do my best. There we go.
Well, in that case, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Peter. That's a wrap for this episode. We will see you soon on another episode of the CPG Guys. Thank you.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.